Today on Roanoke Trail, I'm here in Pennsylvania in Michaud State Forest at Caledonia State Park, and I'm here today to interview an Appalachian Trail legend. I'm here today at the Leapfrog Cafe, and we're about to interview the legendary Fresh Ground. We're here at breakfast time where he's serving up breakfast for a slew of hikers. You know how we are about hiker hunger. He's agreed to allow me to interview him while he's actually cooking. So let's step into the legendary Leapfrog Cafe. Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey. So this is the legendary Leapfrog Cafe, and this is the legendary Fresh Ground. Good morning, Fresh Ground. How are you doing today?
Just a hiker, not legendary.
Oh, well, you're certainly becoming a legend on the Appalachian Trail. We're going to go ahead and he's agreed to allow me to interview him while he is literally in the kitchen right now. What are you making right now?
These are blueberry pancakes this morning.
Blueberry pancakes.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the camera down here, and we're going to start asking him a few questions. Enjoy. First question at the top of the list, where are you from and how did you get your trail name?
I'm from North Carolina, and my brother named me when I was getting dropped off in 2012 at Amacola, because I would stop at these service stations that had Fresh Ground coffee. So he named me Fresh Ground for that reason. And I was hiking Fresh Ground. So.
One of the reasons I'd started this channel was also to help educate my family and my friends who may be following my journey. So there's a lot of people that are outside the hiking community. Could you give us a brief description, since you are a hiker and now you're serving hikers, what is your definition of trail magic?
This is considered a hiker feed by the Forest Service.
Sure.
Trail magic is like somebody giving you a ride to town, or maybe giving you an apple or something at a road crossing, soda or something like that. But so yeah, trail magic is anything that helps hikers is what I call it.
Great.
Anything you can do to help a hiker is trail magic. Would y'all say it's a good definition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are these free?
They're free. You're free.
Thank you.
Could you give us a little definition of the Leapfrog Cafe and how it came about, how you got started, what leads you up to today, where you're at today?
2013, I came back, and you know, the full story, I'll give you a short version, but I came back and started feeding hikers in Georgia at Woody Gap. Stayed 10 days at the first spot. Went up and set up at a Waya picnic area, which is just north of Franklin, for 10 days. And I was over. I was going home, I was going to go hike. And the hikers actually talked me into putting the collection jar out. And it ran the cafe for another 2 months. So it's the cafe is a collaboration between me and hikers.
Okay.
It was started by me, but without them encouraging me to continue, it never would have kept going.
Okay.
And that's really what it is today. Same thing. I started out a little bit of my money, and then the donations keep it going.
What inspired you to start this whole process?
You really want to get that deep? So I'm a man of faith. I mean, I'm a Christian by faith. So that's the base of why I do what I do. I felt called to do this.
Sure.
I felt well trained to do this. But I want to say that, and then I also want to say, but at the same time, the Leapfrog Cafe is about everybody coming in and being accepted for whoever they are, whatever they believe, whatever lifestyle they live. It's about acceptance, and so we feed them and we love it, and that's the basis of it right there. But what fuels me is my faith, and my calling.
Can you give us a little bit of background on your Appalachian Trail experience as a hiker?
First year I did everything wrong, got off at Irwin, Tennessee with a pinched nerve in my neck, overloaded pack, ultra light. wrong boots, wrong shoes, you name it, I did it wrong. So learned about hiking that way. And then didn't think I'd ever be a hiker, but came back and started section hiking, started noticing gear. And the hikers showed me that if you change your gear up, you can change your hike too.
Sure.
So that really helped me. And then you're always changing gear. If you're a hiker and you continue to hike, you'll always be changing out your gear or changing. Your body changes, you change, you always want to get lighter. That's pretty much it. I've section hiked the South pretty much 3 times. In 2017, I did make it to Maryland and got Giardia, but and then got off, and I was going to come back, but I ended up getting a torn meniscus in one of my knees. So I rehabbed that for over a year, and now I've been steadily hiking. So that's pretty much my experiences. I can say I've done the South 3 times.
Sure.
And then I've hiked a little bit in the North, especially last year when I went north and helped hikers. Went out and hiked some with them too.
Sure.
Yep.
Now, as a hiker, and through all your time setting up Trail Magic or Hiker Feed, what do you feel is the single most important thing that you've taken away from the trail and the trail culture?
Well, it's acceptance out here. It's the biggest thing. We have a unique situation where no matter who you are, you accept it. You know, no matter how quirky you are or how normal. There's no social status. There's no age status. We all blend well. We all have a common goal. We all have a big family. I think that's the biggest thing. I think. Hopefully, everybody sees that. But it's work. To be a part of that family, you got to work hard to get it. That's why we only have so many out here.
Since day one, since you loaded up your camp stove in your car and drove out and set up, how has your equipment evolved since day one?
Oh, we're gonna go there? Oh, okay. So I started out with a stove and 2 pots.
Okay.
And just like a hiker, I got really big to where I couldn't even get the stuff in the car. I had a grill. I'd take a grill apart and put it in the trunk. It was crazy. I would take a grill, a barbecue grill, take it apart, put it in the trunk of the car. 96 Camry. And for 4 years, I ran it out of that Camry. And then this year we started with the van. So it's evolved into, we have a rack on the van, I have a bed in the back, and all this fits inside the van, and we have seats that carry people. So it went from just feeding to now being able to shuttle them, flight pack them, and
Sure.
Yeah.
Fresh Ground, above and beyond the food that you offer and all the fantastic food and nutrition that you offer here at the Leapfrog Cafe, I want to take a moment and talk about something that's a little bit above and beyond, something that you can't serve on a dinner plate. Talking about the spiritual end of it. When I arrived yesterday for lunch, there was an older woman who came upon the Leapfrog Cafe. She was a flip-flopper out of Harper's Ferry. And for those of you listening, we're almost at a halfway point. So the woman that came in, she was only a few days in to her journey. So it was almost like she was stumbling into Neil Gap, and she was ready to quit. She was overweight as far as her pack and all the gear that she was carrying, and she was beaten. She could barely walk. Her spirit was broken. And I couldn't help but notice that you immediately took action. Legs immediately took action. And everybody hopped in the mix and took an easy 4 pounds out of her pack, lifted her up, and as she was walking out, you noticed that her pack wasn't fit right. And you stepped out from around the meal that you were preparing, and you readjusted her pack. Last evening when I came here, this young man right over here, I was kind of joking around with him because he had hiker hobble. And he said he was grateful the Fresh Ground had slack packed him for the day, because had you not done that, he wouldn't be here. Would you take just a brief moment to talk about your experiences and the success stories and the spiritual end of things with people coming into your cafe, and you're not offering just a plate full of food, you're giving nutrition that goes deep into someone's soul?
That's a long question. Okay, first of all, she was 7 days in. We all got together and talked to her about it. We'd all been there. Your body has to go through this process of getting used to distance hiking. So, I tell people that your body is loud early on. You got to learn to push through that, and then it gets a little quieter. You still got to pay attention so you don't injure yourself, but you don't want your body to dominate, your spirit. So we talked to her about that. But Legs took the time, a lot of time, to go through her pack, and he's the one that gets credit for this. He took the time to go through her pack, and that takes time, and get the stuff she didn't need out, so drop weight. And then we all sit and talk to her about, you just got to push through this, and just try to encourage her.
Sure.
Yeah, but her pack was definitely, not only did I fit it, it wasn't the proper, whoever sold her that pack didn't give her the proper pack. She needs a pack, smaller size.
Yep.
She should be okay with what she's got for now, but eventually it'd be nice to see her get her a better fitting pack. You know, the cafe is this. I'm always looking for what they need. So when a hiker comes in, I'm gonna feed them, but I'm also trying to find out what they need. So you want to meet their need. You know, a lot of people come out to help hikers, but sometimes it's what you want to give them. I'm not talking about you personally, but what you want to give them. The best thing you do is come out and talk to a hiker and find out what they need, and then you become, you know, truly a trail angel to them.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that kind of ties into my next question, and that ties into, I couldn't help but notice how absolutely passionate you are about what you're doing and your mission. And I asked you several times, what do you need? What does Fresh Ground need? I asked you that question several times yesterday and into the evening, and you repeatedly said, I'm good. Bring something for the hikers.
Yeah.
My question is, how and when do you take care of Fresh Ground?
I'll take tomorrow off, and I'll take the rest of, after breakfast, I'll take the rest of the day off. So I've found out I have to take off a day or two each week to recuperate. But, you know, this is what I need. I need to be able to do the cafe. This is my therapy. So, yeah, hikers are my joy, my passion. I mean, I love all of them, and love to get to know them. I love working smaller groups like this so I can get to know them and cater to them a little bit. And, you know, figure out what they need. I mean, it's a, I don't know how to put it, but it sustains me.
Okay. Considering the amount of experience that you have doing trail magic and hiker feeds, is there any advice that you would like to offer to anyone who may be new to setting up trail magic or a hiker feed for the first time? Any
Rules
advice
have changed over the years. Doesn't leave no trace. Okay, you can't come in and leave anything. You can't come in, drop something off, and walk away. Water, it doesn't matter what it is. You're not allowed to leave any items on the trail. That's changed. People need to recognize that. It's a great gesture to come leave a cooler with cold sodas, whatever, but you can't do it anymore. The wildlife will get into it, and that changes everything. So that's the first rule I advise people. You have to be there with it. So when you provide trail magic, you want some coffee?
No.
Okay. So when you, yeah, that's all we got cups. But so when you do that, and then the second thing is, what are you good at? That person that wants to do trail magic. I like cooking, so this is my passion. So I've known trail angels that give rides, shuttles and stuff like that. Jimmy Spillman, and I believe they love to do shuttle rides. There's a lot of trail angels out here, a lot of legendary trail angels out here, and each of them has like a little specialty that they do.
Sure. So
figure out what you're good at and what you have a passion for and do that. But always put the hikers first. It's not about us, it's about them. And because they're on an adventure of a lifetime. It's probably one of the hardest things they've ever done physically and mentally, so and emotionally. So just try to be a support person for them, and you know, try not to make it about us, make it about them.
Sure.
So, I think a lot of people don't realize too that, you know, I'm friends with a lot of people. The first year I did trail magic, I'm still close friends. You make some really, really good friends out here. I mean, I still stay in touch with from 2013. Powerhouse is last year. You know, Hops came yesterday. He's from last year. But these are people that I probably will be friends with for life. I don't see it changing. You know, I see us being old and still talking on the phone, right? That's just the need.
It's great.
It's like I found my family, you know.
Right.
You eat those? I'm gonna leave the butter off, okay? Go ahead. I'll lift the butter. I did that.
I wasn't going to take all of them.
No, eat what you want.
Fresh Ground, now that we are just shy of the official halfway point of the Appalachian Trail, a lot of folks think that it is still Harper's Ferry. That's now considered a spiritual halfway point, but we're literally just a few miles shy of the official halfway point just south of Pine Grove. Now that you're at the halfway point, how far do you intend to take the Leapfrog Cafe in 2019?
It's not up to me. I run strictly on donations, so I have a fund set up, and I just, when that runs out, I go home.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about moving north. I think I can go a little ways farther. Can I make it all the way to Maine? It'd be great, but
Sure.
I try not to even think about it. I try to focus on the day,
Right.
and today it looks like we're in good shape. So to me, it's not about, because we're talking probably August, sometime July before this group will finish.
Right.
So, and that's usually about when I finish. This is probably, I've got one or two groups ahead of them, and I got one or two groups behind them, but we're probably right in the middle of the ones I usually feed. So yeah, in order for me to make it all the way, you know, they eat a lot of food, and it's getting ready to increase too.
Sure.
So it totally runs on donations.
Right.
So I have no control over that. I could run out in 3 weeks and go home. I never know.
Now that kind of brings me into my next question.
Right.
And you had just mentioned off camera just a few seconds ago how frugal you are.
Right.
And when I contacted you yesterday, you were literally camping in the Walmart parking lot in Waynesboro. You're not staying in any fancy hotels by any way,
No, I have a
shape, or
bed
means.
in the van.
The bed is in the van. You said if it gets too hot, you're in a hammock. When we were at lunch yesterday, there was a couple folks stopped in and they said, "Thank you so much, Fresh Ground." And you said, "I want you to understand clearly, I
Right.
represent more than just myself."
Hundreds of donators.
Right. So if someone wanted to donate to the Leapfrog Cafe to keep serving the hikers and to keep
Right.
the wheels rolling, to keep
Right.
fueling your gas tank, how would they do that?
You can go to my Facebook page. I have a PayPal link on there and my home address. My neighbor gets my mail and she handles all the deposits and all. But yeah, it's all deposits into account. I save all my receipts for accountability, and that's how we work. It's very simple.
Sure.
PayPal and home address, if they want. My job, I can work when I want. So I will stay out until the funds are gone completely.
Sure.
We never have funds left over.
Okay.
But yeah, it's. I encourage people to go out and do trail magic themselves.
Sure.
I don't want to make it all about the Leapfrog Cafe show. It's about there's so many. I only work a small group, so I want to encourage others to go out and help the other groups. You know, there's a lot more hikers behind us. That's for sure. The early nobos don't get as much help, so that's why I specifically focus on them. So I started in February, and I work the early nobos. It's bad weather. Nobody likes going out and doing trail magic in bad weather. But with the van, and even last year with the Camry, well, the last 4 years that I did trail magic with Camry, I slept in a hammock all last year except for 5 days. So the cost for me is minimal. I don't sleep in motels. I don't sleep in hostels.
Okay.
I'm always sleeping outside. But we keep it as low as we can.
Sure.
This year the van does take more gas, but it also provides more options for them.
Sure.
You know.
Absolutely. Well, Fresh Ground, that's all the questions that I have for you, and I want to take a
Okay.
moment to sincerely thank you for everything that you're doing,
Yeah.
serving the hikers, and very importantly, thank you for allowing me to come in here
Yeah.
and interview while you're serving up some fantastic food to the hikers. So thank you so very much.
Thank y'all.
Now we're going to take some time to walk around the Leapfrog Cafe, and we're going to introduce you to some of the hikers who have been enjoying a fantastic breakfast served up by Fresh Ground. What's your trail name and where are you from?
Powerhouse in Georgia.
Awesome. And what's your name and where are you from?
Legs, originally from Pennsylvania, but pretty much all over the country.
What's your name and where are you from?
My trail name is Magnolia and I'm from Georgia.
And is that your hiking partner?
Yeah, this is Peaches.
And Peaches does not like the camera, does she?
She doesn't.
I'm Doc. I'm from New Jersey originally,
Awesome.
but lived all over.
I'm Shoeless, I'm from Indiana.
I'm Nemo, I'm a flatlander from the Chicago area.
I'm Rosebud, and this is my brother Pee-wee.
Hi, I'm Pee-wee.
We're from Maine, so we're walking home.
You hear that, sweetheart? My fiance is actually from Maine.
Oh, really?
She graduated from Rangeley High School.
Oh, yeah.
She'll get a kick out. Where are you guys from? Because she'll kill me if I don't ask. But
It's a small town called Emden, Sugarloaf area.
great. I know she spent some time at Sugarloaf. Trail name and where are you from?
Trail name, Holiday Inn Express. But they call me Holiday on the trail. Why Holiday Inn Express? Because I'm not an expert, but I stayed there last night. So, let's see. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Puff. I'm from North Carolina.
Okay. And is this your sister over here?
Yeah, that's my sister.
Hey, I'm Shine.
I know, I saw that earlier.
They'd love to have you over for dinner.
I do want to say thanks once again to Fresh Ground for allowing me to come in and interview him while he was serving up some fantastic breakfast here at the Leapfrog Cafe. If you have ever encountered Fresh Ground on the trail and you've had some of his fantastic food, his magic, or attended one of his hiker feeds, feel free to share one of those stories in the comments below. And if you haven't done so already, feel free to hit the subscribe button. I plan to share some great videos in the future. Thank you so much for watching Wild on the Trail.